Hello. Welcome back to Retrieving Sanity Road Trip Edition from Fort Worth to Addison. Just got done delivering a copier. Fun stuff, you know. Big O thunderstorm on the way. Big O thunderstorm. That one was a doozy to drive in with the Big O delivery van. But everything went well, thankfully. And as far as I know, it'll be going good. Today should be a decent day. Not sure how great it'll be, but we will see. Anyways, restart that, and 3, 2, 1. Hello. Welcome back to Retrieving Sanity Road Trip Edition from Fort Worth to Addison. You might be asking yourself, like I'm asking myself, Keegan, or Liam, whatever the hell I am called nowadays, a person of interest. Why do a road trip edition? Like, what's up with that? Because I talk a lot whenever I drive. That is why. Even if it's to no one. So I might as well get my thoughts out in the open and have other people critique me for the things that go on in my head. And for that, I don't see anything wrong with it. Except for people are going to be like, man, this guy's fucking stupid. And, it's alright about me. So, what I had to think about last couple days was how actually alone I am in the Dallas area. Nothing wrong with it, right? I'm kind of an introvert. I'm an introverted extrovert. So I'm very much more of a people person, but I also retreat back into myself to like recharge my social battery. So like whenever I'm at work, that's pretty much whenever all my social energy gets expended. And even then, sometimes, I mean, I have a decent amount. Thankfully, my name literally means fiery one and thinker. But, you know, Anyways, yeah, being in the Dallas area, I mean, I literally have no one. And by no one, I mean no one. The people that I got are people that I've met within the last year. Nothing against them. And some of them are actually some of the best friends that I've had, either in recent years or in a long while. Like, these guys, we know each other's shit pretty damn well. And we kind of have to because we're in recovery, right? So, again, nothing wrong with that. It's just interesting because part of it's like, man, you know, people don't really sit there and, like, honestly tell other people how they're doing, what's going on, what woes they're having, anything like that. It's just the usual, you know, living the dream, which is code word for please fucking kill me. Or doing great, doing good, well enough, stuff like that. And to that, sometimes it's the truth. And it's the truth sometimes. And whenever it is awesome because, like, I personally want everyone to have a great day. Does it happen? Well, obviously not. But for the day that you are alive, for the moment you are alive in that day, just realize it is another day above the roses. So, I know as much as sometimes you wish you were dead or in the process of dying, I can definitely say that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it does not have to be on fire. But sometimes you don't get to choose if it's on fire or not, it just kind of is, and you're like, well, where's my fire suit? And then you're also kind of wondering, like, is this candid camera? Like, yeah, this is a joke, right? Like, surely it's a fucking joke. And it's like, no, it's just kind of life at the moment. So, sometimes you have to sit there and you actually just have to realize that, you know what? I'm grateful that I'm alive. Sometimes. And again, like I said, I've been there where it's like, nah, like, I don't even want to exist. Like, The shit's painful, it's difficult, I hate it. I'm not good at anything, no one likes me. And although that's pretty much true, I know that I hate feeling that way. So I've had to do stuff I've had to take actions against that. And part of it did include going to therapy, which I actually like therapy a lot, turns out. And then medication, which I hate having to take, but if it makes me feel good, like, not like good, like ecstasy good, but if it just makes me like, to where I can enjoy life again, like all the small things, fuck it, like, I'll do it. And I know I've tried to get off of my meds before, while I was trying to, almost graduating from Nehemiah. I tried to get off of them. I did get weaned off proper and everything. And a week later, I was like, I forgot how bad my head is fucked up. And, well, let's just say that medication saves lives, kids. Not for everyone, mind you. And again, like, I still find, like, the weirdest thing about antidepressants is that it increases suicidal thoughts and or actions. And it's like, how does that necessarily work? And I'm also reading about that in my abnormal psychology stuff. And even they're like, we don't necessarily know how or why, but it does. And it's like, oh, okay, well, that's great. But, you know, I had to think about it. If my medication, if life really made me sit there and do the whole 180 on existing kind of thing, then, you know, if I'm feeling like the way that I have for the last little bit, I'm probably going to leave a damn good motivational suicide note. I'm not going to, but I'm just saying that if I did, it would definitely be like, man, he was enjoying his last few days, right? But, you know, it is what it is, and it isn't what it isn't. So, again, with that being said, yeah, if you're listening, or if you can hear the music, and you're like, isn't this the stuff that you play in the background of your podcast? Yes. But you're listening to it while you drive? Yes. I listen to Irish, Celtic, folk, whatever you want to call it. I listen to that stuff a lot. And as of last October, I haven't really stopped. And it's great. I actually love this kind of music. And definitely, it resonates in my soul. And I love it. But, anyways, yeah, like, back to the whole feeling like crap sometimes. Sometimes it just is what it is. And, like, it sucks to say that, but, like, the realist in me says, well, as much as I want things to be a little bit different, I can't necessarily change some things, so I just got to make the best of it. How do I make the best of it? Honestly, that whole little saying of laugh about yourself, or whatever, laugh at yourself. I've heard another version of it. I don't remember what it is at the moment, but it's literally like, I've heard people say like happiness is a choice and all that, and like, yeah, kind of, sort of, not really, because I know that the happiest people I've ever seen are also the most depressed, but they're not about to tell you that, because they know what it's like to be on that side of shit, and it fucking sucks, and I know that because I've also been there. So, yeah, let's get back to the negative Nancy and mindset and shit, right? So, you're sitting there, and you're trying to tell people, like, how you really feel, like, what the fuck's going on in your life, because we're social creatures. We like having this, like, connection between people, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a good one either, but the thing is that if you want that bond with someone, you've got to go through shit with them. If you don't go through shit with someone, they're not really that person that you may claim that they are. And even if they do go through that shit with you, they still may not be that person that they think they are. In fact, I learned something in one of my classes the other day. I'm not going to say exactly what, because it's kind of depressing, but basically, all I can say is do the best that you can in a friendship or any kind of relationship. You own up to your stuff and just don't have expectations on it. That's all I can say. Anyways, also, so the whole thing about having those relationships, right? Like, you can have friends, and then you can have real friends. And I'm sorry, but a lot of my real friends, like, I can actually go a long time without talking to them, and then I can talk to them again, and it's like, not a fucking day has fucking passed. Like, it's fucking fantastic. I love those friends. I love those kind of conversations, too, because it's like, look, we're doing good. Like, I got, like, months or a year worth of shit to catch you up on, and then vice versa, and then it's just, it is a beautiful thing. It really is. And I know some people would say it's not, and then to those people, I just have to say, well, you really need to, like, actually have that kind of relationship. And again, I'm not saying that everyone has one. I'm just saying that it's really good, and if you can get one, fucking do it. Because it's very well worth it. And you'll actually have someone, with you whenever there's no one fucking else. And even if they're not really around, well, let's just say that if they're the friends that they say and want to be, they'll be there. What was it? Yeah, so while I was in detox, rehab, I guess detox and rehab were two totally different entities for me, because one of them almost killed me. Literally. Physically, I still don't know if I was in a coma that was medically induced or if I was just fucking out. Either way, it was interesting few days, because I actually, like, remember a whole lot of it, but I also don't. So let's see. While I was in there, I found out who actually wanted to talk and who cared. Even after I've sat there and burned the bridge like 15 times, there's been a couple of people that sat there and they said, well, Wally's gone, let me go ahead and repair this bridge a little bit. Let's see if he'll come back and put forth his effort. I need to get better at it. That's one of my character defects, is that I kind of isolate, but not only isolate, I just have ADHD. So, you know that whole saying, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, that applies to people for me. If I don't see you often, it's not that I don't think about you, it's that I think about you and then my brain gets distracted with something at hand that's like tangible, and then my brain just loses all focus for a while, and then a couple hours later it pops back in my head like, oh hey, I need to text that person, but before I do that I need to take care of this, and I need to stop, take that second to actually talk, either talk to that person on the phone or text them. Just let them know, like, hey, thinking about you, dude, or thinking about your sister, or thinking about your grandma, stuff like that, you know? I need to get better at it. I'm trying. It's one of those things that it's hard ingrained in me, and again, ADHD is a bitch. So why don't you do that while you're driving, Tanner? Because I decided to do this, and so now this is my focus right now, is to get back to work, the shop, be able to get my car, go do another call maybe, and then go home. And then start up a whole nother slew of work there. But, whenever you're going through shit, that's who you find out who your real friends are. And sometimes they're not the people you thought they would be. And sometimes the ones that you thought would be aren't even close. It's a sad fact of life, but it is what it is. And yes, everyone has their own life, everyone has their own worries. That's fine. But there's that motivational, quote unquote, saying that, like, if they want to talk to you, they would. And that one hit me real hard. I was like, ouch. And then it is a two-way street, but like, I know for me, I can text people and then it'll just be like, and boom, Like, I can talk to him for that day and it just go boop. And it's like, well, okay. And, like, hardly anyone nowadays really actually holds conversation. Like, shit, people don't really actually give a fuck. They give a fuck about the people they want to give a fuck about, and I'm not really one of those people. I am to some people, and like I said, a lot of them aren't the people I thought that would be there. There are plenty of people back home, and then there's actually a good deal amount of people here in Dallas. But that's the thing too, is that we all have lives, and so it takes the whole reaching out and talking kind of thing. Again, it's two-way street. Big bump coming up. Woohoo! Woo! Oh, sorry, that was more of a dip. Anyways, so let's see. Being in the Dallas area of 7.5 million people. That's a lot of people, by the way. I'm from a small city, large town of around 200,000 people. I used to think that was a decent amount, but Amarillo is, I wouldn't really say large, but it is spread out. Like, if you don't have a car, you're kind of fucked there. Like, here in Dallas, you don't have a car, that's fucking alright. Like, they got badass public transit. It may not be badass, but from where I'm from, it's awesome. But I don't have to do that stuff at the moment, thankfully. But being in Dallas is a lot like being a fucking drop in the ocean. I'm literally just a water droplet. And I've heard people do the whole say of like, oh, it's the entire ocean in like a drop. And it's like, yeah, as above, so below, la-di-da. But it, like, that doesn't take away the fact that I'm a drop. Like, yeah, there's an entire ocean inside me, but I'm also a drop in the ocean that is around me. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, it's one of those things that until you find that person that you can not necessarily quote unquote call your own, until you can find someone that really fucking cares, and I mean, maybe it is call them your own, but that thing is that you don't have ownership over anyone. If you do, like, that's kind of weird, but you're probably in the criminal justice system. Just saying. That's the only legal form of slavery in the U.S. is if you're a criminal. Either way, yeah, to have someone that you can say is your soulmate, your best friend, everything, all that and good stuff, it's something we all want, or most of us at least, and that's something that I am missing at this point in time, and it sucks. But you know what? Like I said before, happiness is kind of a choice. You gotta laugh at yourself. And guess what? I'm the biggest comedian I know to myself. Because I like to sit there and I like to just fucking have fun. I've always liked to have fun. And I used to... Here's a little something for you. A lot of people think that they don't give a fuck what... A lot of people think that they don't fucking care what other people think about them, right? Well, yes. I used to be one of those people. I was like, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks about me. And then I was all like hard and like hard as in like a rock, mind you. I was cold, I was shallow, I was just all sorts of like no emotion, essentially. And if I had emotion, it was mopey, sad, and angry. And then while I was in Nehemiah, it was actually maybe a little bit before Nehemiah, it was probably at the lowest of my low, that I realized, you know what, I actually do care what people think about me, and that's why I act the way I do, and I put on the persona of I don't care what people think about me. But whenever you genuinely do not care what other people think about you, to a large extent at least, in my case, is that is where a lot of freedom lies. And having that freedom, having that liberty to be yourself and justified in being yourself, not having to live up to other people's standards or ideas of you that's in their head, not having to, like, achieve any of that stuff. Oh, it's fucking so great and good. That is where my happiness really comes from, is like, yeah, I care about what, like, some people think or what some people think about me and stuff, but that's the thing, is that like, everyone is always wanting some sort of validation and acceptance, and that was a thing. But I was looking too much for the outside validation. I wasn't looking for the validation, justification, and the loving aspect of myself. Oh, and so if I had actually done that, you know, years ago, I'd probably be in a totally different situation. And I haven't until not too long ago. And I can definitely tell you, I wish I had done this a lot sooner, but that's things that it takes a lot to get to that point. And a lot, I mean, like, a lot, because not only is it difficult, not only is it scary, but it's a weird mix of, like, confusion. Confusing is a very good word for it, to be honest. I say confusing because you sit there and you have this idea about yourself that you're doing, right? An idea about an idea of yourself. Yourself is a concept of yourself, oddly enough, right? Think about it like you are you, but who is you? And then you are you to yourself. But if you are you to yourself, then you're authentic to yourself. You're good. If you sit there and lie and try to deceive yourself, a lot of weird shit starts to go on inside the head that makes you go, yeah, something ain't quite right here. But you know what? Like, that's where a lot of people kind of mess up, in my opinion, is that they're still trying to live up to an expectation of themselves that they have set for themselves, and maybe even not an expectation of themselves for themselves, but maybe someone else has implanted it in their head that if they are not a certain way, if they are not being the way that they need to be for that one person, then to yourself, to that one person who's singing that, if they don't live up to someone else's idea and everything, then they're not doing something right. And that's kind of doing that whole putting someone else higher up than you on your own totem pole. And it sucks to say, but it's like, yeah, you do got to take care of yourself to a point. Like, yeah, you do got to be selfish to a point. Does it have to be, like, to the extreme? No. Does it have to be all the time? Kind of. But that's the thing, is that you got to take care of you. Because guess what? Only you are you. I had to learn a while ago, why am I my own worst critic whenever everyone else is going to go ahead and judge me and condemn me and do whatever the fuck else they want to do no matter what I do? I can do everything right, and I have a piercing, or piercings, and or tattoos, or I dress different. Anything like that, and people already have an idea about me that is either true or not true, and no matter what I do, they're going to think it. So why the fuck should I care about what I do or not do to those people, you know? And I know it's one of those like, oh, but you should, because, oh, job opportunities, this and that and that. And it's like, I don't, like, yeah, that's cool and all, but I've lived long enough in my life seeking validation and justification and acceptance from others that it put me in a miserable fucking spot. It put me in such a bad spot that I was willing to depreciate my own self-worth and value to myself because these people didn't like me, so therefore I must not be worth it. I must not be worth the time, the effort, the energy, any of that, because these people don't want me. Why the fuck should I let their opinion, their idea of me, influence me in how I am so much to the point where I can't be me? That's kind of the thing, right? is why let others influence me so much? And it's not even that. There's that whole serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And there's a lot of truth in that little prayer, saying whatever you want to call it. And I have to say that I wish I had learned that a long time ago. And they're like, serenity, whenever you actually feel serene, oh dude, it's fucking amazing. Like that's one thing why being alone can be fucking dangerous, especially for me, is because it can be addicting. Once you know how to be solid, like solidarity, like not solidarity, but whenever you learn how to have solitude, it's amazing. Because being at peace with yourself and being able to sit with yourself and not have to fight your demons all the time, not having to sit there and judge yourself and then try to pick yourself back up, it's amazing. Like I said, if I'm going to be my own worst critic whenever everyone else is already going to do the same goddamn thing to me, why am I going to sit there and double down on their efforts to beat me down? How the hell am I supposed to stand up if I don't even help myself up? And that's the thing, is that I had to learn how to become my own best friend. Because no matter who it is, no matter what it is, at the end of the day, anywhere I go, I'm there. And guess what? I've had enough shit in my life that I would rather have me as my own best friend. I know it's really weird to say, and I know it's really hard to do, but I'm saying that for me, it was fucking well worth it. Again, like, I know it sounds weird. I've already talked to people about it and been like, hey, like, this is kind of what works for me. And they're like, man, that's fucking weird. And I'm like, well, I know, but it works. So why change it? I already know it doesn't work. So why keep doing the thing that I know that doesn't work if it doesn't work? Why not try something new? I'm one of those people that like trying new things a lot of the time. I'm adventurous to an extent and whatnot. I'm stupid. I can say that. I'm smart, but I'm also stupid as fuck. Trust me, I know. But again, it took years and years of being my own worst enemy, to be my own worst critic, to finally break down to the point where at the bottom of the bottom, after time and time again, I was like, fuck. I had to learn how to be my own best friend. Then there's that whole, oh, you can't love others, or you can't love until you love yourself bullshit, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, fuck that. Like, you feel however the fuck you need to feel, and you find those people that are going to support you and be around you and help you out. And yeah, it's kind of selfish too right there, but at the same time, like, again, you have to be your number one priority. Like, some people, it's their higher power than maybe some other cause than themselves or their significant other. And to this, I say, every single life is so individualized and so this and that, that there's no band-aid that's one fix cover all or fix all solution, you know? It's nothing like that. All you can do is look and listen and take guidelines from other people. You can't listen and have them tell you, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And if I'm coming across that way, I'm sorry. I'm just saying that it helps me. And maybe it'll help someone else somehow. And that's all you can do, is take a look at other people's lives and try to learn from them. And you don't have to follow them, you don't have to be a copycat, you don't have to do everything exactly the way they do. Take what you can, use what you can, and make it fit you. Take like 5 ideas, and maybe discard one entirely, and then the other 4 just all like get shaved together until you get yourself a nice freaking little puzzle that just fits together, and you're like, oh shit, I had no idea. Well, that's right, you didn't know because you didn't have the pieces. If you don't have the pieces, how are you supposed to know anything, what the picture's going to look like or how it feels? You kind of just got to go out and go on a limb and try. And trust me, that's the scary part. It's fucking trying. Because it's the unknown. We like the we don't like the unknown. We fucking hate the unknown. But once you get comfortable with the unknown, it makes it easier. Doesn't make it easy. It just makes it easier. It's not as scary, but it's still scary. Fuck yeah, dude. Like, hell. Every day I make a decision that's like, I don't know about it, but I'm gonna go with it. I try to have that optimistic viewpoint, but I also have the realistic viewpoint of, well, this could completely backfire. And if so, these are the outcomes, but I'm gonna set the bar a little low so that if it happens a little bit better than that, I'm all right. And that's not a great way to look at a lot of situations, but it's how I manage some of mine. But anyways, I have spoke enough. My road trip is right about to end. I'm about to see if my crow or crows, if anyone's actually listening to this all the way through, give me a name for a female crow. We got Liam, and I'm pretty sure his mate is the one that's been coming around as well, because she is significantly smaller and she's with him. So that leads me to believe that they are mates. And I just saw one of them fly off, probably to go grab the other one. So anyways, if you're listening to this point, help me come up with a female crow name. Because we got Liam, the mascot. So once I get a female name, we'll have the mascots for Retrieving Sanity and or another podcast. But until then, my friends, love yourself, have another great day above the roses, and as always, see you next time. Shalom.